Good afternoon, everyone. My name is E.R. Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of Kara's Circle. Kara's Circle is a nonprofit programming arm of Kara's Books. Kara's Books is the South's oldest independent feminist bookstore. We are delighted to be here today to celebrate the reading of Shakti Girls. We are asked to inspire a new generation with this beautifully illustrated rhyming compilation of biographies of 13 unforgettable, powerful Indian women who changed history. Today's event is co-sponsored by Raksha, and Raksha has a resource table here for women and girls. Raksha is a Georgia-based nonprofit with a mission to promote stronger and healthier South Asian community, confidential support services, education, and Raksha works towards healing, empowerment, and justice for survivors of violence. And today we are welcoming Shetal Shah, who grew up to the sounds of Bollywood and the delicious smells of her mother's Indian cooking in the suburbs of New York City. As a second-generation Indian American, she hoped to one day see more stories of girls like her fill the shelves of local bookstores. Former educator of 14 years, she taught world history in all girls' schools, where she witnessed how curriculum and literature inclusive of women from diverse backgrounds can have a positive impact on girls' self-esteem, identity development. She also developed and led numerous educator workshops, presenting at national conferences, covering topics on pedagogy and diversity and inclusion. Currently lives in Atlanta, Georgia, with her husband and children, while pursuing her writing and mission to bring diversity to bookshelves with stories that inspire. So we're so happy to be here with all of you virtually and in the house today. And we're gonna have both a slideshow and a reading. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for helping us celebrate Women's History Month.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, ER. Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited. My name is Shetal Shah, but my students call me Miss Shah. And as you learned, I am a former teacher, and now I'm the author of Shakti Girls. But I think in my heart, I'll always be a teacher first, which I've realized is kind of guiding me into what I want to do and what I want to create in this next chapter in my life. So that'll always be part of me. Before we get started, I wanted to get to know you all a little bit better. So if you can all do me a favor and raise your hand if you like to make art. Raise your hand if you like to play a sport. Raise your hand if you like to cook or bake. Be a little creative in the kitchen. Raise your hand if you like puzzles. Depending on the puzzle, right? Yeah. Raise your hand if you like to dream. I love a good nap. Right? Now raise your hand if there's someone that inspires you to dream big. Well, I have a little secret to tell you. The women in this book, they inspire me to dream big. And so today I'm going to speak a little bit about them. And I'm going to share some of the stories from this book. But before I do, I'm going to tell you a little bit about where they're from and who they are. Flip to the next slide. So all the individuals in this book, they're all from a country named India, right? And so here's a map of the world. And where you see over there is a smiley face. That's where we currently live, right? That's Atlanta, Georgia. And so India is all the way on the other side of the planet in the purple circle. And actually, we were fortunate enough to make, Jane was able to make his first trip over to India over December. And it took us about, 18 hours to get there in 2 flights. So it's pretty far away. And so all of the women from this book are from India or somehow connected to India. And so some of these women, right, they stayed there their whole life, or for most of their life, they lived in India. So they were either born there and spent most of their life in India, or they moved there at a young age and spent the majority of their life in India. And then some of the women were born in India, and then they moved to another part of the world. So they immigrated to the United States. And so those two women that are in the book, they currently live in the US, but they were born in another country. They're immigrants. And then some of the other women were born in another country, so they were born in the US or the UK, and their parents were from India. They immigrated to another part of the world, and then they were born in that country. Second generation Indian Americans, a lot like me. My parents immigrated from India in the 1970s, and I was born and raised in the United States. So I'm a second generation. And so all of these women have something called Shakti. Actually, we all have Shakti, right? We all have it within all of us, right? So what does Shakti mean, right? So in Hindi, which is the dominant language in India, Shakti means a power, energy, or force that lives within you. And in Hinduism, which is the most dominant religion in India, right, it is a feminine or a creative energy that lives within you. And you see that Shakti kind of manifest through in many different ways, right? So it can appear as in your intellect, right? It can appear as a talent, like juggling or baking or playing a sport, right? We talked about earlier. Or it can appear as a loving energy or force that you have. So it can appear in a lot of different ways, but recognizing that you have Shakti within you can really help you navigate through some difficult situations, help you be resilient, and also help you realize what you're capable of. And so all of these women, right, provide examples of what Shakti can look like and how it's within all of us. So today I'm going to read to you a couple of the poems of the rhyming stories from Shakti. The first one being Geeta Phogat. She was a groundbreaking wrestler born in December 15th, 1988 in Haryana, India. In a country where wrestling was only for men, Geeta defied all odds as a top 10. From a village in Haryana, her hometown, she studied and practiced till sundown. Her father, former wrestler and coach too, was thrilled to train Geeta, although taboo. A strict practice schedule, it's hard to believe. Every day, including Sunday, you see. When it's frigid, blazing in all kinds of air, in mud pits with bricks as weights to prepare. Ignoring taunts and teasing by neighbors, she stayed hatti, headstrong, as when they didn't see her. Years of hard work finally turned into gold. At the Commonwealth Games, Geeta was bold. India's first female wrestler at the Summer Olympics. She continued with worlds and put bronze in the mix. The hit film, Dangal, spread Geeta's story, that girls can rise to all kinds of glory, changing the view towards women in sports, from the wrestling ring to the basketball court. So don't be afraid to wrestle with something new. Go master a skill that makes your heart true. So there's also a search and find activity at the very bottom of each poem to help us review, right, each woman and what they're about. So, Jayan, if you want to come over here and show us where the breaks are. Awesome. And the bricks were what she used as weights, right? And then can you find the Indian flag? Very good, right? And that was the country she's from and the country that she represented at the Olympics. And the wrestling club bell. Way to go. Awesome. Okay. And the next poem is about Kalpana Chawla, legendary astronaut, born March 17, 1962, died February 1st, 2003, and she's from Haryana, India. With airplanes and rockets among the bright moon and stars, Kalpana went to space and journeyed so far. Born in Haryana, nicknamed Montu, Kalpana she picked, creative, it's true. Delighted by planes as a young child, she and her father watched them fly in style. She loved aeronautics, her major in college, despite hearing for girls it's useless knowledge. She stayed strong in her goals and moved to the US to earn a PhD, wondrous no less. Now Dr. Chawla, astronaut for NASA, had her first mission left the whole world in awe. With hundreds of orbits and hours in space. I wore my glasses. With hundreds of orbits and hours in space, she's the first Indian woman in a cosmic place. Her impact on Earth was felt far and wide. Girl summers at NASA, a gift she'd provide. Her second trip on the shuttle ended tragically. She is now remembered heroically. A Congressional Space Medal of Honor, schools in her name, her impact made longer. She taught all girls, be neither, be fearless of trying, stretch to new heights, and dream of flying. Come back and show us where the rocket is. Very good. And the national badge, you can get this memorized. And the astronaut, very good. Very good. All right. We'll do one more. All right. Shakuntala Devi, mathematical mastermind. Born November 4th, 1929. Died April 21st, 2013. Karnataka, India. Equations, cubes, roots, and puzzles, oh my. Shakuntala's a genius, a one of a kind. Karnataka is where she was born and raised. Poverty meant her schooling was constrained. She traveled with her father, a circus trainer, learned math skills as a card trick entertainer. Her father knew a math whiz was here. She had social skill to compute with no fear. He took her on road shows to reveal her gift, showed how women in math are perfectly fit. She attained worldly fame by reaching for the sky, multiplied long numbers in the blink of an eye. When questioned, she trusted her math ability. Computers could not beat her capability. The human computer was her new title. She refused it. The mind is vast and vital. In the Guinness Book of World Records, she is named. The fastest math calculation she has claimed. A role model to girls in a STEM path, she proves women too are gifted in math. The dream of experiments and formulas too. With math, there is nothing you cannot do. We have playing cards to find, right, to symbolize her skill in card tricks that reveal her talent in math. And then we have a computer here to show that she was faster than computer calculations. Pretty remarkable. And a brain over here to review that she refused the nickname the human computer because she believed that the mind was far more powerful than the computer. She refused that. This is Shakti Girls.
We have the opportunity for folks to ask questions if anybody in the audience has a question. To start us out, I will just ask, we always, for authors, want to ask, what books is your book kind of in conversation with? So were there other children's books or adult history books or biographies when you were writing your book that you thought, oh, my book is going to sit on the shelf next to this book one day, and that made you happy? So was there any book like that inspired you or helped you think about how your book was coming together?
There were a few, absolutely. I mean, the Rebel Girls series, I've known about it, been reading and following for so many years, and I think they've made such a remarkable difference in the lives of so many readers. So I definitely found that series incredibly inspiring. But then also there are a few South Asian authors that also really are doing the work in trying to bring stories from India and the immigrant experience to life. And I've definitely found their work inspiring. And I'll have to say, I wrote about Jubilee Huri in the book because she's an author that has been part of my journey ever since I was in high school. And it was the first time I saw myself on the pages of the book was through her interpreter of maladies. And so while she's a completely different genre, I definitely had her story and her inspiration in the back of my mind as I was putting this together. Because it's all these South Asian authors, all these BIPOC women authors that came before me that really, I honestly don't think this book would exist if it wasn't for the way they inspired me.
Thank you, I love that. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, so we're going to say goodbye to our virtual folks. Thank you so much for being with us. You can click Shakti Girls here at the bottom of the screen to buy Shakti Girls from Karis. It really does help us when you buy your event books from us. We're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining us today.